What you attend to matters. In my conversations with solo agers, well, it's not necessarily specifically stated, there's an underlying theme about this statement. What you attend to matters. What you are paying attention to gets your time, effort, and money. What I want to do is just unpack this through a slightly different lens. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these kind of words that are here. Experience harmony through felt solo aging confidence. And it's about this notion of adventure together. What I want to do is take a look at these words, how they combine, and then offer to you 5 questions to think about as you put into action this notion of what you attend to matters as a solo ager. I chose harmony here because I link it to music, this notion of the sounds that when they come together, they're really well together. It's sort of a metaphor is that when we're living our lives, we can get this notion of being together well. And therefore, the adventures that we can have are important, the adventures that we have together. And that brings up if you are going to experience the solo aging, then an adjective that I would put in front of solo aging, of which there are many, I decided to put felt. So this notion, I feel the harmonies. Well, I can hear it, but I have the sense I can feel it. When you turn your attention to solo aging and you feel it because you welcome solo aging into your life, then what that does is it brings to your attention what's happening as you're living your life. Now, put the word legacy in there, living your legacy life, because it's something that becomes an important thread to string, to cord to rope kind of metaphor that is available to you. And if you think and feel about solo aging and what it means to you, then you can start to pick up on okay, what starts to happen here is I start to come to appreciate my confidence. And confidence from the sense of, from a harmony point of view, what you're doing is you're saying, yes, it requires effort to be able to have this together and be well and together, which means I have to be well inside myself. So that's where I bring out well being for self and well living with others, which is the path of wealth movement that I encourage all solo agers to take up. So when you bring this confidence to the foreground, what you're doing is you're saying, I have the self assuredness, I have a belief in myself that what needs to get done gets done. The way in which I need to be, I can be. Of what I will have, I will make sure that it's for the world with the planet from the whole. I'm not attempting to be something else, putting masks on or finding another way in which to show up. I am authentic. There's a vulnerability about who I am as I walk in. But there's a counterpoint to this around this notion of well living. And it's about is that I rely on the trust of others that they're going to bring their attention to what matters and their self assuredness into what's happening. So, what's taking place is as we adventure together, if I'm bringing my confidence, those that I'm walking with are bringing their confidence. What we're able to do is say our self assuredness about what we're paying attention to is going to matter. That when we express it as intention, some people might say, that's a mission or vision of the organization of effort. That's another way of looking at it. But what's taking place here is that you're coming to some agreement about what it means to take on those intentions, to pay attention to what's taking place, and to do it in a friendly, peaceful way, conflict free. This is what we're after here in terms of this harmony of felt solo aging, the confidence of self, confidence with others, the self assuredness that you can adventure together so that the experiences that you share, there is an element of freedom and fun and fulfillment and joy and happiness and grace and hope and faith. Words like that are there and present in the conversations, in the actions that are being taken. To bring this topic to your head, heart, and hands, to let you embody what it is I'm attempting to share with you here, I have 5 questions, and let's see where they take us. And if you want to pause between each question and take a notebook out and write down a few thoughts, or listen to the 5 questions, come back and do the stop and write and go on and stop and write and go on, I'll leave it to you, whatever feels most comfortable for you. The first question is, what are you paying attention to? Like at this point in time, aside from this video, what are you paying attention to? What is it that you are seeing around you, tasting, smelling, feeling, hearing? What are you attending to at this point in time? And you could ask in the last hour prior to watching this video, what were you paying attention to? And just see what comes to mind, what comes to you. The next question I have for you is, what do you want to achieve through the activity? So, whatever activity you take up, what do you want to pay attention to? Maybe you do an activity in the morning. What do you want to pay attention to? You want to do an activity in the afternoon. What do you want to pay attention to? You want to do an activity on the weekend. What do you want to pay attention to? It's a question to ask as you are moving in and becoming involved in activities in your life. The next question would be, are you speaking up for what you need? When you are in an activity and you're paying attention to what's going on, will you speak up for what you need, or do you just quietly sit there and take whatever it is that's coming to you and go, "Oh, okay, all right, yeah"? Or will you speak up? Will you be in an assertive, cooperative connection with those that you're interacting with? It's an important question to ask and to sort of test and see where you are. The next question I have for you is, what are you feeling about? Now, just take a step back and just go, okay, what am I feeling right now? What am I feeling about? Am I feeling something that happened to me last week? Am I feeling about something that happened today? Am I feeling about something that's going to happen in a couple of days from now? What are you feeling about? Just get in touch with that notion of your felt solo aging. Could be of history, it could be of the presence, it could be of the mystery that is coming. The last question I have for you is, are you willing to turn on and tune in? Are you in activities and you sort of, "Well, okay, fine, that's all right," and go through it, and an hour later you're done? Or are you actually turning on and tuning in? Another way of saying, are you switched on, switching into paying attention to what matters in that activity? Is it something that you may have been thinking about in the past, now, or the present that's taking up your attention? Or are you actually here in this? Just ask yourself over the last couple of minutes, did you sort of waver away from what it is that's being shared in this video? It's possible. So Are you willing to turn on, switch on, and tune in and be present about what matters? So these 5 questions, you can put them on a cue card and you can ask each time you go into an activity or you're going to create an activity, create an experience for yourself. Just ask these questions and see what happens as you're going in, while you're in there, when you've come out. Just ask these questions. And that's why journaling is such a great way to keep track and find some meaningful patterns for yourself. Speaking of meaningful patterns, let me just share a couple of ideas with you with the last couple of slides here. So, the first thing is harmony and solo aging, bringing those together requires effort. If you're going to pay attention to the harmony and the solo aging, welcome the solo aging, find the rhythm and harmony that goes with it, it's going to require effort. And you're going to have to bring your assertiveness, this confidence, into the mix. And certainly find ways in which to be assertive and cooperative in your interactions with those that you are sharing time, effort on any given day. And as you move more into adventures together, where you're starting to say, okay, we're going to go do this together and this together, make sure that you have your confidence, those who you're interacting with have their confidence. If they're willing to say, I'm not really self assured here, I may not have the confidence to do what we need to do, what is it that you might be able to help with? How might the group help that person or those couple of persons? Because what it comes down to is the trust that those that you're interacting with have your best interests in mind and that they're going to make it better and wiser and kinder for everyone's involvement because there's agreement to that, to the intention, and that it is friendly in terms of the ways that people go about it. Yes, while you're being assertive and you're being cooperative, do it in a friendly way. It doesn't help if you go into conflict. That's not going to help anyone from a harmony, solo aging, adventuring together. But taking it from this agreement friendly perspective, it can make a really big difference for those who are in that experience. I just want to remind you that experience harmony through felt SoloAging Confidence is something that you can do with any activity that you are going to be engaged with. And you can think about it from the pre, during, and post, before, during, after, whatever words that make sense to you. Now, if we can be of assistance to you in helping you to bring what is in this video to you so that you can embody it and actually bring it alive, there are a couple of options. One would be you could take a mentoring package, go one-to-one. If there's enough persons who come forward, I might say, well, look, I'll bring together a group and create what's called a mentor heart. Um, a term that's often used as mastermind. I call them mentor hearts. It's an opportunity for the group to come together. And we would say, okay, does it take one time together or a couple or do 5 or 6 times together? We would find out by interacting with one another and finding some sense of coherence around the topic, of find the harmony that's there around the topic. Now, you can always visit the website, wealthmovement.com, and certainly comment with this video or watch other videos on this channel where you're finding it. Now, if you're finding this video away from YouTube, then come back to YouTube and open up the Wealth Learning TV channel. So with that, I wish you the best and take care.